Hey friends, it's Rachel Archelaus here, and I want to talk about the evolution of working for yourself just a little bit. I'm going to use my own example because I have it and I've lived it, but you can really apply this to absolutely anybody else. I've heard this online for years and years and years from all the teachers I've ever worked with, and basically it comes down to like getting bigger, making more money, things become easier. When you make more money, things become easier. And basically, as you keep progressing and you're doing well, if you grow, things get easier. And that is contrary to what a lot of people think when they're in their business, figuring it out, starting it up, and going with the grind. So I want to kind of explain how I have gone from the grind to things getting easier, because I think this is where a lot of people get stuck. And I know a lot of you don't have a business yet, but you want a business, and this will apply to you too. So I'm going to tell you about all of my failures first. Basically, I started an online gift shop when I was 17, and that was, I don't know what year it was. I'm 37, so 20 years ago, that's what I did. And the internet was big. I mean, it was a thing. But it wasn't like everybody had their own webpage and store. WordPress wasn't around yet that I know of. At least doing it yourself, you know, the open source model for it. I created my online store through Yahoo Commerce, and it was very regimented. You couldn't really change much at all. And I think it was $100 a month. There wasn't any Squarespace or Shopify. And so I made stuff at my house, I put it online, and I sold it. Very little of it, might I add, very, very little of it. But it was fun, you know, I got to take pictures of things and make things and feel like I really was doing something. And then Etsy came out, and I moved to Etsy, and, you know, I had a candle shop, I had a small press. Things kept coming up that I would make and I'd get really passionate about, and I get really intense about things. And so I made a catalog for my candles, and this was over the span of about 10 years that I went from the gift shop to the candle company to the small press. And I was teaching intuitive art in that time and doing readings for people. I had a lot going on, but none of it was catching. None of it was like overnight successing. And I didn't really know how to make a difference there. I didn't really know what to do. I wasn't even in the mindset of like, I can use intuitive art to help my business grow or to learn what I need to know. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was completely unconscious about what I needed to do differently. And it was a really, really, really frustrating time. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know that I could do things differently. I didn't know that I had to go like do marketing stuff. I didn't know how to get into wholesale accounts. Like, I didn't know what that stuff would be. If you've ever kind of gotten frustrated at your parent or something because they don't know they can just look on YouTube for a solution, you know what I mean, right? When somebody doesn't know what they don't know, they're not looking for it. They're not looking for a solution. So I didn't really get very far. I would seasonally sell a bunch of candles and do well, but that really didn't take me far. In the other parts of the year, I continued having to have a day job that whole entire time. And I just it didn't feel like I had a real business because nothing was sustainable. My press, you know, when I first started, I would do a launch party and I would sell $500 worth of books, but then nothing happened. So I didn't know anything, and I was doing my best to be creative and inspired, but it didn't really amount to much. Now, I'm not dismissing that though. It was absolutely worthwhile, and I would do it again and again and again. But it's not like it replaced my income, right? What I wanted was a job that I created that would pay me enough to live and more, and, you know, essentially be mobile. So the candle company wasn't very mobile. I had to hire people to fulfill orders when I was out of town. But regardless, I tried a lot of different stuff before I woke up and realized I gotta do different things to get a different result. So that's really when I started learning about what I didn't know. I didn't know really what marketing was, and that, you know, people needed to find out about what I did, and it wasn't just going to be word of mouth that grew me to the point where I was happy and satisfied, right? Or it would take forever. So in my case, I needed to learn things about sharing and getting myself out there, and I needed to go through a very severe mindset shift about what I was worth and what I would allow to come to me and what I would allow my life to be like. We don't realize, or I didn't realize, how limiting I was about myself and how like small I felt about myself. If you would have asked me at the time, I would have thought, yeah, of course I'm gonna be a millionaire and I'm gonna have so much success. But how I was actually feeling about myself was very different. Very different. And it's apparent now, but at the time, I thought everything was, why isn't everything working? Everything's great. I'm great. Everything's great. And again, that's a good way to go because it's better than the opposite. It's better than like being a pessimist. But again, I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I just kept plugging away and learning about stuff. My business changed so much from the time I started it to where it is now. In the beginning of my online start around 2012, where I really decided, okay, I really want to have a business that pays my bills. And I started learning about business and, you know, the tech stuff and the marketing stuff and the sales page stuff and how do you accept money and like how do you put it all together? What are all the things I need? I think first I was calling myself energy consultant, and I was doing readings. I was doing a lot of psychic development with people and classes. And then once I got the hang of that and that was going really well, people wanted to know how to start their own business. So I did the Soul-Centered Business Boot Camp, and then it would change again and change again and change again. And on the outside, it may not seem like it was a big change because it was always me and my flavor and my outlook on life, but programs would stop performing well, and like I knew that I had an inspiration to go in a different direction. And so internally it felt like very big shifts. And the part that I'm really wanting to get to, and the whole point I'm making this, is that you are here for you. You're living this life for you. You're not living this life for other people. So your business is a reflection of you. And if you are in alignment of feeling good and excited about what you're doing, that's the difference. Finding that and allowing yourself permission to do that and expecting good things to happen when you do that, that's the business journey. That's the business journey. Getting in alignment, getting your expectations in alignment, knowing that good things are happening to you and that you're worthy of good things happening to you from you feeling good and excited. It sounds so small, but it is the biggest thing. That's it. That's momentum, positive momentum. Things get easier the more money you make. Things get easier the more you grow because you're more in alignment and allowing yourself to receive for what you like doing. The problem is, a lot of times when people stop liking what they're doing, or they notice they're stressed, they're forcing themselves to do things, they're putting pressure on themselves to deliver, you don't feel so good anymore. And a lot of times you think your abundance is tied to doing things you don't want to do. You think it's tied to like the machine, but it's tied to you. It's tied to you. Your abundance is tied to you and your alignment, your expectations. You're here to experience yourself and joy and growth and fun. And all of your abundance naturally comes in when you do that. Are you really abundant when you're stressed out? No. Are you really abundant when you're forcing yourself to make a blog post? No. abundant, fulfilled, happy, joyful, excited. That is abundant. Yes, money has to do with it, but money is not the only thing. Would you rather have money and fulfillment? Yes. Money and excitement? Yes. Money and freedom? Yes. That's the path that I am promoting. That's the path that I am doing my absolute best to live. So, you have a choice in business, right? You start something you think you're going to like, and then what happens when that isn't exciting anymore or that stops performing? This is the place that most people stop or give up or decide that I just got to charge through. It'll get better eventually when I make X amount of dollars or when this happens. That's not the path that I'm promoting. Not the path. The path I'm promoting is that you're the boss. You get to decide what you want to do. And if you choose the exciting path, probably the scarier path, what do you want to do next? Go there. And let the money in, and let the good feelings in, and let the vacations in, and let the good relationships in, and let the time with your family in. And that's the juicy part of life. That's the life we were put here to live. We're here to live and life just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And better and better and better. And you don't know how good it's gonna feel until you're there. That's the most exciting part. You can know, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna have all these vacations. I'm gonna do this and that. But the feeling of it when you get there is so much better than you could have imagined. And this is the part where it's like I lose most people. Like, they don't think that's real. They think that's a pipe dream. They think that's not real. But we're really here to live. We're really here to live. We're not here to do stuff we don't want to do. We're just not. So, intuitive art, right? Intuitive art. It's a great way to talk to your higher self. It's a great way to know what that path is, to find the path of least resistance, to give yourself some confidence about going into these new exciting areas where you're not sure. You're not practiced at thinking that abundance is going to come from you having fun, right? You're departing from all that old conditioning about, you know, hard work's the only way to get there, and so you gotta suck it up and you gotta eat your shit sandwich, and there's so many people yelling at you that it's gotta be hard and tough, and if it's not, you're not doing something right. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. And in fact, doing that only gets you so far. If you really want fulfillment, you gotta get in alignment with actually feeling good. And let me tell you, abundance can still come from that place, and it can come easier and faster and way better than from that other shitty place. I use intuitive art to get me there because it's just easy. It's an easy way to know. It's an easy way to have a two-way conversation outside of my head about anything I want. How can I hit this income goal? Boom, there it is. What tone do I use for marketing this? Boom, there it is. Right? It's so good. It will show you blind spots, of course. It will show you if you're wrapped up in the wrong place about something. It'll show you everything. And that's why I love it. It's just easy, right? It fits with where I am. It's easy. It's easy and it's fun and it feels good and it's fast. And we are having a business clarity clinic. If you don't have a business yet, you are still welcome to come because we're going to start with what is the most fulfilling, profitable, aligned version of my business possible. So even if you don't have one yet, it'll show you what your business is right there in our first drawing. And then we'll go from there with questions on creating it. How do I get there? How do I allow this into my life? What do I need to do? What is my first step? And so on and so on. We'll get as specific as you want, right? So if you have specific questions, I'll show you how to ask them after as well, but we can do it in class together. So this is not a little thing. This is a 3-hour class. It will be recorded. If you can only come for part of it, that's totally okay. And even if you're not interested in the class, I just wanted to say all this to you because honestly, I don't say it enough. I'm gonna start saying it more. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be fun. Of course, there's times you want to focus and challenge yourself, but isn't that fun? We're not here to be stressed out. We're not here to be tired. We're not here to be worried. We're not here to be any of that. All of that is taken care of when you are aligned and connected to the part of you that's always here for you, always offering you direction, always guiding you. Your intuition is so powerful, so powerful. Every single billionaire I've ever heard interviewed always talks about their intuition being the #1 factor in their making decisions. That's gotta tell you something, right? So that's enough. I super love you. Bye bye for now.